This young girl was impregnated by her own father. Yes, you heard me right. With only 15 years, she became a mother, forcing her to drop out of school and struggle with life at a young age. Normally, fathers will do each and everything to protect their daughters, but why did her father figure do this to her? How is she coping with trauma and motherhood at such a young age? Did she ever receive the justice she deserves? To know more, we travel for a long distance in the countryside of Kenya to meet this young girl. This is her painful story.
I'm Monica WANJA Waitherero. When I was just 5 years old, my father passed away and I was raised with a single mother who struggled with providing for us, and she ended up remarrying.
After years without a father figure, Monica finally found one in her stepdad. Things seemed okay and life was good until when the stepfather started misbehaving.
We lived well, but after 3 months, my mother got pregnant and the stepdad, whom I called my father, would physically abuse her after taking a lot of drugs and drinking too much of alcohol. My mom tried to help the stepdad by starting a small business that would facilitate with paying bills. So she got some capital and invested in some small business that never generated a lot, but still helped in many ways. But the stepdad thought she was still not contributing enough and would continue to abuse her on a daily basis.
The mother's second marriage didn't turn out as well as she had hoped. Despite this, she stayed strong and faced the challenges to protect and provide for her children. She had already struggled a lot to support them before, and she wouldn't let this happen again.
We felt relieved and a bit excited when my stepdad left for a job in a faraway town doing construction work. However, took too long to return then, later married someone else and abandoned us. He never looked back, leaving my mum to struggle once again to raise me and my siblings.
Facing financial difficulties and dropping out of school, life became harsh and seemed meaningless for them. They struggled with challenges beyond their control until when a glimmer of hope finally appeared.
Out of nowhere, our stepfather returned, but to our surprise, he had completely changed. He treated us with kindness, respect, and care, which was hard to believe considering his past behavior. It felt like we finally had the father figure we had always wanted, but that never lasted longer. After only 3 months, he went back to his old ways and being harsh, violent, and very abusive to our mother. Whenever he could beat our mother, she could come grab my hand, and then we could spend the whole night sleeping outside as an escape.
Over time, despite initially showing positive changes, the stepfather's behavior began to deteriorate. He started showing wild and unpredictable actions, developing strange habits that confused both children and their mother. There were signs, but none of them realized the impending disaster, even though there were clear signs that should have served as warnings for them.
My father, stepdad, kept being addicted and dangerous. We could pick bottles and syringes he used while taking some drugs. So, one day, he entered the living room and removed his pants while we were all there and took out his organs and urinated in some pans and cooking pots, which was embarrassing and disgusting to us. When Mom wanted to know why he was doing that, he kept quiet and just chased us away. Since then, my mother got depressed. We started sleeping in our neighbor's house, and things looked even worse as my mother could no longer sleep in the room but on the couches in the living room. in fear of what the husband could do her as he was being controlled by drugs.
Then, one day, the most terrible thing happened. It was her worst day ever. She found herself questioning her own existence and wondering why God allows bad things to happen to innocent people.
It began like any other day. I was busy with household chores, cleaning the house and washing dishes. I noticed my mom wasn't around, so I asked my stepdad where she was. He said she had gone out to do some casual work. He had bought some meat, so I cooked it. However, he didn't join us for dinner. After we ate, I went to bed since it was getting late. But as I slept, I sensed someone touching me. I thought it was my sister, but this was different as when I tried talking louder, he closed my mouth and told me to keep quiet. Then I realized it was my stepfather. He was naked. I told him to dress. He said he'll sleep with me. I refused, and a fight began immediately as I was trying to save my life. He hit me with something. I never knew what happened next and found myself outside in the pit where we put trash the following day. I screamed and asked for support for people to take me out, and some people lent a helping hand.
It was the scariest thing that had ever happened to her, but the impact was even scarier. She'd find out later that she was not only defiled, but also got pregnant in the process by her father, just at the tender age of 15.
My dad left and never returned back home. My mother also never returned, and we remained alone. After that, I started feeling dizzy and nauseous, and I began vomiting. I went to the hospital, and after some tests, they confirmed that I was pregnant. I was too young. I had never slept with any man, and I couldn't believe what doctors were saying, but then remembered that night where the stepfather took advantage of me. It was difficult for me due to my age, and I struggled with motherhood. After 9 long months, I gave birth, but then got sick, went to the hospital, and had a surgery. During my 1-month time I had at the hospital, my baby was at home with no one else to look after her apart from my younger sister. I had requested not to be hospitalized, but the painkillers wouldn't solve anything, and doctors had to make the decision.
Ever since she gave birth, she was constantly ill, even after being discharged from the hospital. Without her mother or any other support, her situation became increasingly difficult. She spent so much time in hospitals that at one point, her younger siblings thought she had passed away from her illness.
When I returned, my sister and brother were in disbelief. Rumors had spread that I was dead, and they were so shocked that they screamed and acted as if they were chasing away demons. It took some time to convince them that it was really me. My sister was so skeptical that she even said a prayer before she could trust that I was alive. Now, we are facing hard times. I was forced to become a mother at a young age, and now I have to take care of both my baby and my younger siblings. I don't have a job, there's no one to support us, we're out of food, and we have no means of making money.
This teenager, who has endured such hardships, is now responsible for caring for her baby and younger siblings. Supporting her would not only provide her with the means to survive, but also offer her the chance to explore job opportunities. However, the best form of help would be assisting her with school fees so she can return to education, which she desperately wishes for. She hopes for a brighter future and believes that continuing her education is the key. You can donate through thegivinglife.com, link provided in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. Your support can make a significant difference in her life and the lives of her siblings. Her story is a harsh reminder of the cruelty in the world. However, by supporting her, we can show that not everyone is heartless. Your help can demonstrate that there are still caring and compassionate individuals out there. Thanks for watching. I am Simon Greenwood, and this is Afrimax English. Please remember to subscribe.